I'm a worthless check, a total wreck, a flop. But if baby I'm the bottom, you're the top.
Before I lock the door. I am so glad you're here. I'm in a fantastic mood. I just came from my second audition for the new Ricky Ramirez show. And the part that I read for is to play Ricky's best friend neighbor. And if I get it, it'll be the break I've been waiting for 24 years. And if I may say so myself, I was phenomenal. I karate chopped these people. So I'm kind of waiting for the phone to ring. It could be my agent Harry with the good news. So if it rings, I got to take it. I'll tell you what, if it's any of my friends, we'll screen the call so we don't waste any time, okay? Do you happen to know who Ricky Ramirez is, by the way? No? Let me tell you, you're going to love him. Ricky Ramirez is a 21-year-old stand-up comedian from Denver, Colorado. He's been here in Los Angeles for 6 weeks. And CBS gave him his own television series. Isn't that great? Sensational. He should have 2. Why not give him 2? I'm only doing 24 years, and you know what I have to show for it? Nothing. I have absolutely nothing to show for this. Okay, that's not entirely true, all right? In 1980, I was in a movie. They paid me $312 for a day's work, and the movie was a huge success. And even though I got cut out of it, every year I get a residual check. Every year around Christmas time, 20th Century Fox sends me one of these. Now, for those of you that don't have the benefit of higher education, let's do the math. $312 back in 1980, followed by a 2-cent annual payment for 19 years comes to 38 cents. $312.38 divided by 24 years of show business comes at the $13.01 annual income. Not good. But you know, this doesn't deter me in any way because I have these visions that I belong somewhere in the media, on television, I guess. Even in any form, like even as a talk show host, I know I'd be pretty good. I get along with people, and I watch what's on there now, and I'm appalled sometimes at the way they exploit innocent American people just to make a show. I'm watching this one program. They had one guest the entire show, a quadriplegic skydiver. I'm not making this up. They take the guy up on airplanes on weekends, they open the door, and he parachutes down to Earth. And they make a big deal about the guy. With all due respect, what's the worst that can happen to him? What's he gonna break his neck? He already did. Can't walk, he can't walk now. The worst that can happen to land on you, break your neck. That would be very nice. But okay, you'll turn the channel, maybe something better is on, you'll watch Oprah, right? She's doing the same thing. She's got like these little children on the show with these insane diseases. She had these kids, they suffer this thing called progeria. For every year they live, they age 9 years. And they all have the same last wish in life. And they all want to go where? Disneyland. Go to Disneyland. Isn't that sweet? But by the time they wait in line for Space Mountain, cruel world after all. They get there at 80, they leave at 120. Uh-oh. God heard that joke. That's another 5 years, I'm going nowhere. You ever get that feeling that God listens to everything you think and say and he punishes you accordingly? Well, it's true. It's all over for me, probably. But I think it all stems from the fact that I tore up a chain letter in 1971. you know what? I don't care. I'll make it. I'll break through it all. Because I'm a very positive person. Many of you in this room do not know who I am, but I'm very positive. I read a lot of self-help books. I'm not like my good friend Mark Goldstein. Okay, Mark Goldstein is an actor friend of mine who's consumed with hate. He doesn't have a nice thing to say about anyone. You know what he suffers from? It's interesting, 1999 and all, he suffers from what's called the persecution complex. He honestly believes he can't get a job in show business because he's too Jewish. A business started by Jews, run by Jews, he can't get a job because he's too Jewish. You wake her up, she all right? All right. It's okay. I know it's comfortable. Now I feel great. I'll see if I have a pillow for you. No can do. You see, I make lemonade from lemons. I don't care about things. I'm a very positive guy. But you don't know that much about me, so I'll tell you what. That's true, honest enough. I'll tell you a little bit about myself, so you better get to know me. I grew up in Fairfield, Connecticut. And in 1975, I went to my mother. I said, Mom, I'm going to be a stand-up comedian. Ever since then, whenever she sees me, she looks at me just like this. I get all my personality from my mother. I do. Because she's out of her fucking mind. If Sigmund Freud had to analyze her, he'd need a dump truck full of cocaine. I love my mom. She was very overprotective of me as a child. I mean, I was the only kid on the swimming team who wore a helmet. I used to have fantasies that I could turn into Superman when I was little. And not to have his strength, only because his mother lived on a planet 20 billion miles away. You see how neat my place is? I get that from her. She's a clean freak. Always constantly clean. It drove me nuts quite a bit as a child. I mean, I got toys at my birthday parties, and we play games. But you know how hard it is for 20 kids to eat their cake over the sink? Now, my father was entirely different, the opposite. My father was cool. My dad had me late in life. My father was around during the Great Depression here in America. He was in the supermarket business in our town in Connecticut, and what my dad did was he extended credit to the people who couldn't afford to buy groceries. And then after World War II, when prosperity came around, they rewarded him by being faithful and loyal customers, and he did quite well for himself. Now, probably no one in the room was around during the Great Depression, but let me enlighten you with some statistics. The unemployment rate in America was 30%. Okay? People who were selling millions of dollars worth of stocks were reduced to selling apples on street corners. People were so hungry in this great land, they were boiling their shoes and eating them. Here's a picture of my family during the Great Depression. These people ate the people who boiled their shoes. My father couldn't be in the photo. You know why? He was having lunch. My whole family is enormous. I escaped only late in life because as a child I was fat too. Look at me now, it's hard to believe, but when I grew up in Connecticut there was nothing to do. I used to sit home all day, eat Hostess fruit pies, and stare at the TV. Consequently, I was very fat. I was a big kid. I was big. I was so fat my picture used to fall off the wall. I had nothing to do. I'd sit there munching on my Hostess fruit pie, staring at the TV. My favorite show was called Romper Room. You know, and Miss Barbara was the hostess of the show. I used to love the end of the program. She had a magic mirror, And she used to look out and see who was watching. And she used to go romper, bomper, stomper, boo. Tell me, do. Who do I see today? I see Larry and Steve and Vinny. There's that fat shit Bruce singing. Now, 3 days before my 13th birthday, my father passed away. And he was the sweetest, kindest, most generous man I have ever known. And you know what I learned from him? Nothing. I'm the most selfish prick in show business. I don't give nothing to nobody. I'm like the Pavarotti of comedy. Me. Enough about you, how about me? How did this happen from such a giving, caring family? And if you think I have problems, you should meet my sister. She's even crazier than me. Her problem is she can't find a nice man. Is this your husband?
No.
No. Is that your husband over there? Well, you did well with him. He's a nice guy, good sense of humor. You did good. I wish my sister had that kind of luck. My sister is the worst. Her first husband, okay, was a Jewish karate instructor. And I went to his class. It sucked. Every time you break something, you got to pay for it. Her second husband was bisexual when she married him, but that didn't worry my sister. She was convinced she was going to change. And she did. After 3 years of marriage, he became a homosexual. One morning, he jumped out of the closet like a Murphy bed. We haven't seen him since. Now, where did you grow up, my friend? L.A. When you were a little boy, who was your favorite relative to come by and visit?
Grandma.
Grandma? What was Grandma's name?
Rita.
Grandma Rita. Okay, nice. Where did you grow up, ma'am?
Boston.
Baston. You're from Baston, huh? Back east?
From Boston.
Oh, from Boston. Oh, you lost the accent. All right.
No, I never said Boston.
Oh, cool. And when you were a little girl, who was your favorite relative to come by and visit?
An aunt.
Aunt? And what was her name?
Lil.
Aunt Lil. That's amazing, because that's who my favorite relative is, my great Aunt Lil. How do you like that? It's interesting. Oh, it's cool. It's never happened before. My Aunt Lil lived in the Bronx, New York. And she'd come to our house in Connecticut on weekends to visit, and I could not wait for her to come, because I would tell her whatever new joke I learned that week, and she'd pinch me right here in the cheeks, and then when she'd leave, she'd take a quarter, put it in the palm of my hand, and go, "For you, darling, for making Aunt Lil laugh." And I think that was like my first inspiration to become a professional entertainer. Now, she lived a long, long life, but along the way, she developed Alzheimer's disease. And we put her in a nursing home down in Miami Beach, Florida. And whenever I would be down there, I'd always go visit Aunt Lil. And hopefully you'll never have to visit anyone in a place like this. But let me explain to you what it's like. They keep all the patients in this huge room, okay? And you're really kind of zonked out. So they sit in their chairs like this all day long. And the weird thing is that they're children. In order to impress the other children whose parents are there, go out and buy these people the most expensive jogging suits that money can buy. So they're sitting there like this. Nike, Puma, Reebok, Air Jordan. It looks like a volleyball game is going to break out at any moment. But nobody's going anywhere, if you know what I mean. And all these people do is they sit there all day and they repeat the same sentence over and over again. And my Aunt Lil would sit there like this. "I have no money. I have no money. I have no money." And then that would trigger Eddie Schless. "Quiet, please. I have no money. Quiet, please. I have no money. Quiet, please. I have no money." Then Mrs. Goldfarb. "I'm Jewish, help me. I'm Jewish, help me." And then all of a sudden, this place turned into a tropical bird store. "I have no money. Quiet, please. I'm Jewish, help me. I have no money. Quiet, please. I'm Jewish, help me." Then that would bring the nurses with the chocolate pudding, spiked with the tranquilizers. "Here you are, Mrs. Perellis. Eat your pudding. Trump, take me to medicine. Eat your pudding. Trump, take me to medicine. I have no money. Quiet, please. I'm Jewish, help me. Eat your pudding. Trump, take me to medicine. I have no money. Quiet, please. I'm Jewish, help me. Eat your pudding. Trump, take me to medicine." Now, 3 years ago, Aunt Lil passed away. And the most amazing thing happened. They notified me that she left me $20,000. The great nephew. And I was so touched by this gesture that when they handed me the check, I decided right then and there to donate the entire amount to the Alzheimer's Foundation. But instead, I got hair transplants. Long hair. Another 5 Gs, I could have had the back done. Because I used to look like this. Look at me here. I can't get used to the fact that I used to have so much hair. As we speak, the hair is leaping off the top of my head. And I buy like every product that comes out on the market to keep what I got. I bought this jojoba shampoo. Ever hear of this? Jojoba shampoo. I used it 2 weeks. I'll tell you, my hair looked phenomenal. As it laid in the sink, it had a shine in it. Now you can buy Rogaine. I do that. Rogaine is a derivative of a drug called minoxidil, which was given to people with really bad heart problems, and they found out a side effect was that it grew hair. You're laughing, it's true. My Uncle Jerry was taking it for his heart. Last August, he woke up one morning, full head of hair. And he got so excited, he died of a heart attack. That's I'm 16. This is my junior year going into my senior. This is my yearbook photo. My nickname back then was Jethro Tull. Because I used to play the bass guitar. I was in a rock band. I did all this to get the girls, to like me. And it didn't work. I've never had luck with women. I mean, I didn't have sex till I was 20 years old. It was my first sexual experience. Mark, how old were you when you had your first sexual experience?
Wow.
17? All right, that's cool. And when you're young like that, just 3 years doesn't seem like 3 years when you're an adult. It seems like an eternity. And I knew kids that were having sex at 13 and 14. I was so envious of them. My first experience was with my first girlfriend. Her name was Jody. And when our eyes met, we were at Boston University. I mean, I just knew that was going to be the mother of my children. And I went out with her religiously every night for like 6 months. And then one day I'm taking a shower. And I'm soaping up, and I look down, and my entire body is covered with crab lice. And I flipped out. I mean, I hid in my room till like 3:30 in the morning. And I snuck out to 7-Eleven, and I bought this stuff called A200 crab shampoo. And I went back to the dorm, I killed all the bugs, and I noticed on the label, it lists the various ways you can contract crab lice. And I said, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. And I began reading the label. 1% of crab infestation comes from dirty washing machines. 1% of crab infestation comes from camping out. I'm Jewish, that rules out camping. 98% of crab infestation comes from sexual transmission. I went, aha! It's the washing machines. And this set off a legal battle between my mother and the Boston University Housing Department. And the salvos were being fired back and forth until about 2 weeks later we're having a dorm party, and it was my turn to get the bong, and I was very stoned. And I don't remember where I put it, and I went into Henry's room, it wasn't there. I went to Zach's room, no bong. I went into Jerry's room, and there was Jody, and Henry, and Zach. And you're all naked in bed together. And I had this amazing epiphany that maybe it wasn't the washing machine. And I'd like to report to you that all these years later, my life has turned around, but it hasn't. Especially because most of the time I've been living here in this town. I don't know how you two met. You make a very nice couple. Thank God you made it. Because I can't get normal women in this town. They're all crazy. They are. Oh, you didn't meet her. That's how every girl I meet here is crazy. Not that I'm any more normal, I'm pretty fucked up. And I'm not ashamed to admit that to a complete group of strangers. I've been to therapy, so what? I went to therapy for 2 years, and I ended it last April because I had an amazing breakthrough. My insurance stopped paying for it. You get really well when the Momo runs out. But go try and meet. Are you guys an item now? Yes? You're lucky. Bruce, you got a nice looking girl there. You're very lucky. I mean, if you try to meet a girl, they'll get 5 seconds from your next breakdown. They're like snapping turtles. They can go at any moment. They got more problems than a math book. They're fucked up. Every woman I meet out here is like a jack-in-the-box on the second to last note. Right there is where I am. I'm sure when I see lovers in the crowd, 2 people in love, one sleeping, because that's what it's all about, so much love. You're so lucky that you found love. My generation, forget about it. It's all about money. You're not even dating a woman anymore. You're dating a bunch of auctioneers in this town. All right, who gave me dinner? Palm Springs, we got Palm Springs dinner. You're losing me. You're losing. BMW, we got a BMW. So, take me away. And yet I remain positive throughout this. I will never turn a negative side of me. You won't see that. Because I've read every book on relationships. I want to know when I meet the right woman. I want to know what she wants. I want to be there for her. Something you've never had to do. You've had it such a great, she's been sleeping the whole life. 38 years in a constant sleep, all right. So you've never had to read a book. I've read every book on relationships, and you want to know what I notice after reading these books? They're all written by women. About men. And they say very nasty things about them. Look at the titles of these books if you don't believe me. Right? Men who hate women, men who can't commit, men who should drop dead by next Tuesday. What would you ladies do to a guy if he came out with a book? Women who sometimes slightly annoy me. You'd kill him, that's what you do. He'd have 10-foot lesbians with bazookas in his living room. Where is he, that piece of shit? I'll kick his, blow it up, Trudy. I'll kick your ass, you prick. No, I do what those books say. They say you gotta try and meet women any way you can, and I know I do it all. I go out of the house, they say stay out of the house, go out. Go places. I've been everywhere the books say to go. Museums, galleries, gynecologist's offices. I've been everywhere. I even went to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting to meet girls. Because I don't drink already. I figure I got something in common with these people, right? I walked into that meeting for 90 minutes. I had the most gut-wrenching, miserable, tragic. I've been drinking ever since I went to the meeting. Hey, you don't want to leave the house? You want to meet a guy? Go do the personal ads. Do the computer. Personal ads, yeah, you can do that. The computer is an interesting way to meet people. You scan your photo in and then you communicate through the email. And I got my first email about a month and a half ago, and it said this. It said, I haven't had time to scan in my photo, but believe me, you won't be disappointed. So negative. I invited her down to a show that I did. She showed up, and you know something? I was not disappointed. I was horrified. She had a lot of fucking nerve, can I tell you? If I was her chia pet, I would drink a bottle of Weed Eater. I accept blind dates. People always go, oh, we have someone for you. All right, let's see. I had one 10 days ago, my last one, up Sunset Plaza Drive. I go pick her up at her apartment. She opens up the front door, I look inside. There's like a 3-foot iguana running around. I said, what the hell is that? She goes, it's my baby. I was afraid to ask who the father was. And I take her up to Sunset Plaza Drive, nice restaurant, we sit down. She's a typical Los Angeles woman. They just want everything, one, two. The waitress hadn't even come yet with the menus, and she makes an announcement. Bruce, in 1 year, I want to be married and have a baby. I looked at her, I said, you don't get many second dates, do you? I said, kidnappers give the hostage's family more time to go on the ransom note. Let me eat, for crying out loud. I have low blood sugar. I can't make big decisions. And she leans over the table and says, hey, Bruce, you think I should get a boob job? I didn't know what to say. I said, why don't you have one done? And the food comes halfway through the meal, another announcement. Bruce, where do you see this relationship developing into? I said, a murder-suicide. All right, this is the most important woman in my life. This is Susie. I worship the ground she walks on. I only went out with her twice, in 1986. But take a look at her. That's the pussycat. That's what this town has done to me. It's driven me into a monster that all I do is find myself chasing after women that look like that. I mean, I'd like to be with a girl that is so beautiful that when we walk into a crowded place, everyone will look at me and say one thing. She's using him. But that's what I've become. If I can't have a hot-looking babe, I'd rather have nothing. And that's what I have. Nothing. Now, I don't know what your heritages are in this room tonight, but I can tell you that my family would love for me to bring home a nice Jewish girl. And that's the goal of every Jewish family, I guess. In this town, it's not as easy as it sounds. A lot of Jewish people here, but we don't all just hang out in one place. It's very multicultural, right? So about 6 months ago, I picked myself up and I went to my first Jewish singles dance. Over in the San Fernando Valley. Shalom singles. Basically, the last step before out-and-out homosexuality. It's like a big damaged goods sale. I've seen happier people on the way to the electric chair. Because let me say one thing about Jewish people while I'm here. When we're handsome, we're amongst the handsomest people on this planet. But when we're ugly, we win prizes. Excuse me, hold it. Okay, hold on.
Smirnoff, it's Goldstein.
It's my negative angry
I
friend.
just read for the role of a lifetime. Lemke, a Jewish gangster. You know what they told me? They told me I'm too Jewish for the role to play a Jewish gangster. They gave the part to Ed fucking Begley Jr., that blonde, bland piece of innocuous, middle-of-the-road shit whose father got him into business. This is what they think is a Jewish gangster. These fucking people. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna burn this town to the fucking ground with their mediocre bland shit. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
I picked up Daily Variety today. The Show Business Bible. I always get it when I feel that I'm part of the industry. I used to have it delivered to my apartment every single morning and read it along with breakfast. But I have a little tiny problem. that it's difficult for me to read about so many other people's success so early in the morning. And by the time I got to like the third paragraph of Army Archer's column, I would crawl back into bed, assume the fetal position, and suck my thumb. Now, I hope that didn't sound bitter, because again, that's not me. I'm frustrated, but who is it? Mark, you get frustrated sometimes being an actor. I mean, you know, that's just part of the thing. It's just that, you know, I've been here 21 years now, kicking around as a comic. Now, prior to that, I was in Boston for 3 years, doing it in Boston. Before I came out here, I stopped off in New York City to get my first professional 8x10 headshot made. Because in this business, your photo is it. It tells the people in Hollywood who you are and what you're all about. Okay? It's now 1978, Los Angeles. Here comes Bruce Smirnoff. Studio. This is like a real deal. This is like $1,000 for this whole sitting and everything. This is how people looked in 1978. You know? Now I show up out here with this fantastic look. Humor man. But I really didn't have any ability. I came out here way too soon. I always knew that about myself. I knew when I was good. I knew when I was struggling and whatever, and I was smart enough to not go to any of the top comedy clubs in town. So what I did was I played a lot of lesser known clubs, the toilets, the shitholes. And one of the worst of the worst is still in business today. It's on Fountain Avenue in East Hollywood. It's called the Natural Fudge Health Food Restaurant. This is a place where you would try and do your act while 12 Hindus eating brown rice and tabbouleh would discuss reincarnation. I used to say the only way to work that room was with a machine gun. Maybe they'd come back as a better audience. The place to be in 1978 was on Sunset Boulevard. It's called the Comedy Store. It's owned by a woman named Mitzi Shore, who was responsible for finding Robin Williams, Roseanne, David Letterman. She is the queen of comedy. Okay, I'm out here 3 months, and I'm having coffee at this restaurant on Sunset Boulevard. And sitting 2 tables next to me is Mitzi Shore. And she gets up to pay her bill, and she turns to say hello to the comedian that I'm with, and she takes one look at me, and she just like flips. She goes, "Who are you? That face, that's fantastic." I'm Bruce Smirnoff, I'm a comic. I just came out from Boston, and here I am. "I will see that face on my stage Monday night. That is fantastic." I said, "Wow, I appreciate that, but I'm not ready. That's why I'm here with Mitchell. We're going over jokes. Eventually, I'm going to come." "No! I know talent. When I see it, I will see that face on my stage Monday night." So I can't believe it, how excited I got. I mean, here I am, 3 months in this town already. I'm discovered at a coffee shop on Hollywood Boulevard, or Sunset Boulevard. I thought it was Lana Turner. Well, Monday night comes along, the world-famous Comedy Store. The room is packed like we are tonight. Hot to the touch. My performance time was 9:45. You couldn't ask for anything better. I still have the tape. It's in my closet if you want to hear it later. I didn't get one laugh. Oh. They stared at me. Oh man, it was so difficult. And I remember that Mitzi always sits in the room watching me, and I'm always in manners. My mother gave me great manners, and I went up to her, I said, "Mitzi, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to work here." And she looked up and she said, "You have absolutely no talent." Don't even think about being a stand-up comedian. And that was my first major Hollywood defeat. But I don't tell you this to get any kind of sympathy. Please don't feel sorry for me, because if I had a nickel for every person Mitzi Shore rejected, I'd be a trillionaire. Another person she rejected, my best friend in the whole wide world, Billy Reback. Now let me say something about best friends while I got you here. They are your safety net in this business. It's so important. And Billy and I were like kindred souls. We're cut from the same cloth. Coincidentally, we arrived in LA within a month of each other, and when our eyes met, We were like soul brothers. We hit it off immediately. We were literally these two nerdy guys who wore sport coats. We carried attaché cases to our gigs. We took out pencils and pens and tape recorders. We looked like Aetna insurance sales. And what we had in common was that wherever Billy and I went, we got rejected together. Bruce, Billy, we have no room for you tonight. Maybe try another time. Reback, Smirnoff, you know what? Call 6 months from now and then we'll see if we can schedule it. And we made a pact back then that we were going to make it to the top and make it to the top together. And in 1990, God smiled down on Billy Reback and he went on to produce one of the top 10 sitcoms on TV today. It's called Home Improvement. Now, he is one of the most successful showrunners in this town. He is a multi-millionaire. He wears $3,000 suits, okay? When he walks into restaurants in Beverly Hills, the waiters line up and salute him like General Patton coming in to review the troops. And he's my best friend in the whole wide world, and I'm so proud of him. And you know what he's done for me? Nothing! He hasn't done a fucking thing for me! This is my best friend in the whole wide world! If you were to walk through that door right now, whack, I'd kick him in the balls! And I would tell him that to his face, but I can't get him on the telephone! Let's go back to the comedy store for a second. I realized back then I wasn't going to be working a world-famous comedy store. I said, but you know something, in the scheme of things, it's not that important. What you really need in this town is an agent. And not some small potatoes agent. You need a big agent. Big, 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 big. So, I took that photo. And I mailed it out to every single theatrical agent in Hollywood. I sent it to the William Morris Agency, International Creative Management, the Agency for the Performing Arts. A week later, the phone rang. The agent's name? Michelle. The name of the agency? Michelle Unlimited. Her office was in the San Fernando Valley by Magic Mountain. I had to fill up my gas tank twice to get out. I walk into her office, and there's Michelle sitting behind her desk, doing what all big agents do. She's steaming stamps off of envelopes. And she gets up from her desk. My God, look at you. You're a walking sitcom. Go home, get me photos, and stand by. I got so excited. I jumped back into my car, over the hill, went to Washington Boulevard to multiple photo, where I had 1,000. Over here it said Bruce Smirnoff. Over here, Michelle Unlimited. I went home and stood by. A week later, the phone rings. Hello? Bruce! It's Michelle. Get down here immediately. Oh, you got something for me, huh? No, I've quit the business, and the new tenants are about to throw out your photos. Come down and get them. Evidently, Michelle was pretty limited.
So play, hit parade.
Guys like me, we had it made. Those were the days.
Those are the days. I remember when that show premiered. 1971. I was a freshman at Roger Ludlow High School, and I know we've all seen All in the Family, but if you could just take a moment to remember it, I mean, it was groundbreaking. There was nothing of its type on American television. It was about America's favorite bigot, Archie Bunker, a man mean and crusty on the outside, but on the inside a heart of gold. He always did the right thing. And the truth is, my father passed away so close to the premiere of the show that Archie Bunker kind of became like a father figure to me. And I secretly wanted him to adopt me. I wanted to be Meathead the Second. Well, who knew at the age of 14 that one day that photo would bring me face to face with my idol, Carol O'Connor. Okay, it's now 1981, All in the Family is off, but it's been replaced by a brand new show called Archie Bunker's Place. Still the #1 rated sitcom on television, but with an entirely new cast, one of which is a tall, skinny Jewish guy to be his lawyer. And through some weird series of wonderful coincidences, I got chosen to play that part. And I remember the night before I went into CBS, I stayed up all night and called everyone I had ever known and told them the good news. And then the next morning, there I am, soundstage, I think 11 at CBS. And it's interesting, you know what actors do before they start their day? They do what everybody else does. They just sit around, drink coffee, and eat bagels and donuts. And yet these are very big stars that are doing that. And I'm like, oh my God, that's Ann Mira, from Stiller and Mira. And oh my God, look, that's Martin Balsam from Psycho. I can't believe this. And look, Alan Melvin from McHale's Navy. And Billy Hallop, one of the original Bowery Boys. I don't deserve to be with these people. This is unbelievable. What am I going to do when I meet Carol O'Connor? I'm going to flip. I know I'm going to flip. And then all of a sudden, walking toward me in a windbreaker was my idol, Carol O'Connor. Oh, geez, look at the size of this kid. I'm going to be looking up a lot of you, kid. I'm going to go get a cup of coffee. I'll be right back. Wow. He barely spoke to me. I mean, he was like whispering, and he was so nice. I'd never met anyone this nice in show business. Whoa. Well, he comes back from coffee, and we begin this arduous rehearsal thing, because you see what happened was someone got sick, and I had to replace him. So they only had 24 hours to get me ready for the role, and we rehearsed all morning, all afternoon. We broke for dinner, came back, and we were going to do a full dress rehearsal for all the executives at CBS. Now, my scene is this. Bunker sits behind his desk. I come in, I go, Bunker, your partner Murray wants to sell his half of the restaurant. You can't afford to buy him out. I suggest you sell. He goes, oh, geez, dude, we've been wits. You're a Jew. No offense, but can't you Jews figure something out? And I go, Bunker, knock it off, and then we begin our fight. All right, so here's what happens. I come in, Bunker, your partner Murray wants to sell his half of the restaurant. You can't afford to buy him out. I suggest you sell. Oh, geez, dude, you're being a witch. You're a Jew. I go, Bunker, knock it off. Okay, now what I've just done is I've started my line before he finished all of his. Not a good thing to do. And the nicest man in show business went off like Mount Vesuvius. Who the fuck hired this piece of shit? He's a green banana. Was it you? If it was you, I'll fire your ass right now. Well, no sooner than that was said, 3 men jumped on me, like they jumped on John Hinckley after he shot President Reagan. And they grabbed me and they took me down the hallway and they threw me into this broom closet. And I'm like, oh my God, I know what I did. I'm so sorry. I'm nervous. I will never do it again. I'm just so sorry. I'm really sorry. Well, Dante's Peak hasn't quite yet finished. I want to know who brings me such shit so close to taping. You know something? I never liked this whole crew. I might as well fire all of yous. Well, 10 minutes later, those 3 guys come back to get me. Mr. Smirnoff, would you come back out on the set, please? I'm like, no, I'm having a good time right here. I found a broom. I'd like to do a little sweeping. Now, Mr. Smirnoff, please come back with us out on the set. And I walk out there, and O'Connor just comes right up to me. Oh, geez, I'm really sure. Sometimes I just get a little nuts, you know. I'm going to go get a cup of coffee. I'll be right back. He comes back. We finish everything. Everything works out fine. I don't forget my lines or anything, and the laughter is there. And the stage manager comes up and he goes, okay, Smirnoff, we tape tomorrow at 12 noon. Be here 10 a.m. for makeup. Bye-bye. I leave. Now I am so excited. I can't sleep. I got up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, showered, shaved, jogged. I arrived at the farmer's market next to CBS before they even opened up. You ever heard of that? Finally, at 8 a.m., I couldn't take it anymore. I burst onto the set at CBS, and there was nobody there except for the stage manager. And he's like looking at me like this. Hi, how you doing? I just want to familiarize myself with the set, you know, the new star and everything. I want to be comfortable with all my new friends. Hi, we established that. Have some coffee, baby. Wake up, smell the flowers. Now, he's looking at me a little strange because, you see, I've been fired. But I wasn't at home to receive the phone call from my agents. So he's looking at me like this because he doesn't know why I'm there and why I'm so happy. He's thinking, maybe I'm strapped with dynamite. And I've come to blow up CBS. And he doesn't know what to do. So what does he do? He takes me to makeup. And there I am in the makeup chair having the time of my life. Hey, will you put a little rouge on my cheeks for me? Make it look like I was in Miami or something, you know? And look, I don't want to be a pain, but I heard that Olivier said it's all in the eyes, so could I get some mascara too, please? Thank you. Okay. Meanwhile, word is going around CBS about the psycho. They're coming from all over the studio to see what's going on. They're walking by my door, they're doing double takes, triple takes. You could have sold tickets and made a fortune. Now, I have no idea why they keep coming. I just figure they want to come talk to me. Come here, wake up. Wait, come here, go. All right, I guess they're a little intimidated, the new star here on the show. It's okay, don't worry, they'll grow to love me. Next thing I know, this 6'2" security guard with his arms akimbo, he's standing in the doorway. Mr. Smirnoff, phone call for you out on a set. I got a phone right here, send it through. Mr. Smirnoff, we prefer you take it out on a set. I go, okay, I could use the exercise, let's take a walk. And we walk out onto the soundstage, and now everybody's there. There's like 50, 60 people. Technicians, lighting, camera number 1, swing left, camera 2, zoom in, click a check on number 3. Everything is like busy, busy, busy. I take one step onto the soundstage, the entire place freezes. Like those old E.F. Hutton commercials. And I still got like 25 feet to walk to the telephone, and I'm looking at them, looking at me, I'm going, something's wrong. This isn't good. I'm in a lot of trouble. I get to the phone. On the other end is the casting director of the show. Hello? Bruce Starling. Oh my God, honey, there's been a horrible mix-up. We had to replace you, but this had nothing to do with your ability. We just had to go another way. But honey, oh, this is... I want you to go home right now and wait. We are going to messenger over to you a script from the Facts of Life. You'll be guest starring next week. And honey, I just want you to know one thing. This had nothing to do with your ability. And I took a beat, because I remember that in acting class, they teach us that this is bound to happen. And you can't get crazy when it does. And I went, Jane, it was a pleasure working with such professional people. Now, at this point, everybody there knew that a terrible mistake had happened. And they're all coming up to me, Bruce, are you okay? Is everything all right? I'm going, hey, I'm fine. You'll get someone else who will play my part, but I'm going to go home now. I'm going to get a script from the Facts of Life. But I just want all of you to know one thing. It was a pleasure working with such professional people. And I went home. And I waited. And that script from the Facts of Life, it never came. And I don't remember 3 days of my life after that. And the hardest part of all was that I had to call back all my friends and tell them that I got fired. 47 people I stupidly called. And the hardest call of them all was to my mother. And you know what she said? She said, don't worry about it, honey. Your father had a lot of ups and downs before he broke through. Same thing will happen for you. That's nice. Now this story took place, like as I said before, 1981. So we're talking 19 years ago, right? And yet, to this day, whenever I drive by the CBS building on Beverly Boulevard, I wish I was strapped with dynamite. beauty of this business. You see, one phone call can change your whole life. That's why I love it so much. See, come on, baby.
Bruce, it's Billy. You there?
It's my best friend, the producer.
You're not there.
Oh.
All right, anyway, I gotta tell you something unbelievable. I'm at the Cheesecake Factory yesterday, wearing one of my $1,500 Armani suits, you know, because all my real expensive ones are at the cleaners. So I had this waiter, a tall, skinny guy like you, spilled an entire pitcher of lemonade on the suit. Wanted to kill the guy. He's standing there like an idiot. I said to him, do you have any idea who I am? What are you, out of your mind? Is this what they hired you for, to spill lemonade on a person's suit? You know, I used to produce one of the most successful television shows in the last 10 years. Look, I make more money in 1 year than your father made in his entire lifetime. Matter of fact, I just made more money saying that sentence than you would make this entire month. And I have to say, it felt horrible. He apologized profusely, he was a real mensch, so I gave him his own television series.
Folks, that's what's wrong with this town. The inmates run the asylum. That's why in the 1980s, I got the hell out of Dodge. I went on the road. Because that's how you get good. These are rough places. It's like a 2-tattoo minimum just to walk in. The ladies' room have urinals in it. This is a rough place. And everybody's got a tattoo. If I had a tattoo, you know what it would say? Oh, but this hurt. And yet, when you're at these gigs, being the artists that we are, you always imagine that even in South Dakota, somehow your people are going to show up at this gig. Your target audience is going to show up. You're going to have the set of the world. It's just one of those things that keeps your spirit going. I think the worst gig I ever had. You ever been to Atlantic City, New Jersey? No? I was there. Caesars, great hotel. I was in the lounge show there called Swing, Swing, Swing. It's review, music and dancing. I'm in the middle with my jokes, and the problem with this audience was they were all old people. I'm not talking about people in their 60s and 70s. I consider that very strong and very vital. I'm talking about people in their hundreds and 200s. These are old fucking people. Because when you're that age, you don't want to listen to me. You got one thing on your mind and one thing only. Did you take a shit or not? Where's my Metamucil? That's all they think about. And I came out there every night with my dynamite jokes, and you know what I heard? This. Nothing. My best jokes. This is a rough gig. And if I was there for a week, believe me, that would have been horrible. I was there for 2 months. 2 shows a night, 3 on weekends, Sunday matinees. By the end of the run, I was walking around Atlantic City like this. Like a homeless person. Oh, my spirit was crushed. Like the last Friday night of the gig, I remember I showed up there and the doorman stops me, Mark. Now the doormen in Atlantic City are unlike the doormen anywhere else in America. They're like out of a Martin Scorsese movie. Like Goodfellas, right? And this guy stops me at the door. Hey, Smirnoff, get over here. You don't know this, but the state of New Jersey has a deal with the hotels, casinos, and mental institutions. And at any time they want to bring their patients in to see a show, they may do so, Smirnoff. So why I'm telling you is in our room right now, a 350 mental patient. Now you listen to me, now you listen good. Do not fuck with these people. You ever fuck with these people, it'll be a funeral. My what? Your funeral. Where you're dead and you lay in a box. Okay, Vinny, not a problem. I'm going to be right back to you. Call me when you need me. I'll be very nice to these people. And the show begins, and the singers and dancers take their places. Swing, 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 swing. Everybody starts to swing. Now, let me tell you something about singers and dancers. They're the nicest people in our industry. Sweethearts. Comedians tend to be a little angry sometimes. But singers and dancers, they're marvelous. It's like, hi, went to the mall today. I bought a dress. He bought a dress. We all bought dresses. First number is over, and the nicest people in show business start streaming backstage. Those fucking retards! All they did was fucking stare at us. They should all die if I don't care. Oh, no. I'm on next. Oh my God. They introduced me. And I walk out there. And they're all there. They're all there. Do you remember that movie, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? There's pinheads, hermaphrodites, dwarfs. The whole front row were chewing on towels. They're wearing pajamas, seersucker bathrobes, and paper slippers. They take one look at me, and they start laughing. I haven't even opened up my mouth. They're rolling around on the ground. Their pajamas are opening up, their balls are down. I never did so well in my life. I wanted to go home on a bus with them. I had finally found my target audience. Some of the hidden treasures in our jobs. Now, Margo, you're a comic. You're a very good comic. You got a lot. I saw a little film of you last night, done in New York with Tamayo, right? Now, you know that occasionally, just like with you, Roberta, we get called upon to do charity events. Now, those are gigs for free, but as a performer, we rob you of your laughter. We might as well give it back in some way, and you must always do charity when they call you. The problem is with these gigs, you've been to them, right? You've been to charity events, the sound stages are elaborate, food's very good, they give you these wonderful gift boxes to take home with you. But they're trying to juxtapose two completely opposite things, like stand-up comedy and whatever horrible disease you're there for. So I get a call 5 years ago from my agent who wants me to work for a group called the Anti-Defamation League of B'nai B'rith. This is the biggest Jewish organization in the world. Beverly Hilton, 1,500 people, absolutely signed me up. Now I show up there. This is in the Grand Ballroom. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's huge. And I walk inside, and there's like a 27-piece Manny Harmon orchestra. Everybody's dancing, all Jews. I'm gonna kill. I'm gonna have the greatest set in my career. And I'm in my dressing room chomping at the bit. I am so excited. I want to get out there yesterday. And well, you know what? Let me take you there.
Welcome to B'nai B'rith's annual fundraiser, where this year we're proud to announce we've raised over $300,000. Before we bring out our comedian, we'd like to show you a short film.
Germany, 1934. A series of events will transpire that will eventually lead to the extermination of 6 million Jews.
January 1945, 4 Soviet divisions were diverted to liberate the greatest killing center of them all, Auschwitz.
And now welcome the merry man of mirth, Smirnoff.
Let's just say, another Jew perished that evening. But this is what you gotta do. This is how you get good, battle tested. And one day when you're really bulletproof, you're ready for the greatest show of them all, it's the Tonight Show. And when I started out, it was the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. Now, do you guys remember in the 80s there was a club on Sunset Boulevard called Carlos and Charlie's, yes? Okay. I used to work there a lot. In early 80s, one night I had a great set. And I walk off the stage and this well-dressed middle-aged man comes walking up to me. Congratulations, Smirnoff. You're on the Tonight Show. What? Because that's right. I see Johnny every Monday, and when I see him, I'm telling him to put you on a show. There's my card. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wait a minute. This says Al's floor waxing. Because that's right, I'm Al from Al's Floor Waxing. I do Johnny's floors every Monday, and when I see him, I'm telling him to put you on a show. Now I tell you that story because you can get jerked around a lot in this business, but not when it comes to Tonight Show. I mean, that was sacred territory. Because let's face it, the history of the boob tube, there's no better host than Johnny Carson, hands down. Johnny loved comics, and he had a signal that he used to give the comics. That's how much he liked us. If you had a really great set, he went like that. That meant you're coming back. This meant sooner than you think. And this meant, come on over, sit on the couch with Ed and Doc and me. That meant you're going to be an overnight sensation. Well, it's now 1983, okay, and I'm traveling all around the United States with my comedy act. I have an agent who sends me on these gigs. His name is Irvin Arthur, typical cigar-chomping agent. What I liked about Irvin was that his whole family worked for him in the office. His daughter did the books, his wife answered the phone, and his son Adam, this nice kid, he did all the errands. And I knew that Adam one day would take over for Pops, and together we'd make millions. So it's this one particular Saturday night where I'm not on the road, I'm in town. And I'm working the other famous comedy club here. It's called The Improvisation on Melrose. It's owned by a man named Bud Friedman. Okay. Now Bud is responsible for finding people like Andy Kaufman, Robert Klein, Jay Leno. He's the king of comedy. And I've got the last spot of the evening that night, and which means I'm going on about 1:50 in the morning, right before the cleaning lady. But you know me already, you know I like to get there early. Got there at 8. See, what's great about the Improv, it's got 3 sections. The showroom is way in the back, but up front is this huge bar area and this huge restaurant area where you can hang out with your friends. And I was doing just that when all of a sudden this black car pulls up in front of the club. And out steps Johnny Carson. He had never, ever, ever been to the Improv before. We don't know why he chose that night, but there he was. And he started to walk inside. Now let me explain to you the people who hang out inside of the Improv. They are exactly you people. Very blasé, very been there, done that kind of groups of people, right? Like when a star walks in, it's like, oh look, now Robin Williams just walked in. Robin Williams, over there, follow. When Johnny Carson walked into the Improv, all those blasé people stood and gave him a standing ovation. Muhammad had come to the mountain. The excitement in the room was incredible. It was so intense. Bud Friedman himself was running around like a member of the Kirov Ballet. Johnny Carson's in my room. Johnny Carson! Johnny Carson! Well, Carson walks through this whole maze of people, and he walks right over to the bar, and he orders 3 shots of Jack Daniel's whiskey. Now I'm standing about 6 feet from him, because this is my other idol in life. I'm just going, Johnny Carson. Hi, Johnny. Hi, Johnny. I can touch you if I want to. You know what I noticed about him? When you see somebody really famous for the very first time, what is it that you always notice? That they're what?
Very short.
Right. Not Johnny. Tall, 6'1". Big, broad shoulders. You know what else I noticed about him? He liked to drink. He took those 3 shots. Boom! Turned around, walked right by me, down the hallway, into the showroom. Wow. Whoever is on stage right now has no idea they're about to be seen by Johnny Carson. Wow. Should be me. Yeah, it should be me. How come it's never, ever me? I'm ready, I got my 6 minutes, I can handle any situation. It's never, ever me. Well, no sooner than I thought that thought, Bud Friedman taps me on the shoulder. Bruce, I just got some phone calls. 2 guys canceled, one's gonna be late. You're on next. I didn't even have time to get nervous. The next thing I know, Bud Friedman himself is on stage introducing me. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage a young man who's going to steal your laughter as well as your hearts. From my home state of Connecticut, please welcome Bruce Smirnoff. And I walked onto the stage of the improv. Now, I don't remember the first joke that I opened with, but when I said it, the room exploded. Screams of laughter. They knew Johnny was in the room. They were going to help him find a new comic. Well, I did my second joke. Better reaction than my first. My third, better than my second. I was on like a roll. And at this point, I was spacing out, man. I was in Fantasyland. All I could see was the couch, and Ed, and Doc. I'm in Burbank, babe. Well, I do my 4th joke, and a voice yells out in the back, "You stink! Get off!" Oh my God. I'm getting heckled. A guy who never gets heckled, I'm getting heckled. And I look to see who's heckling me. It's my agent's son! My agent's son is heckling me! I go, "Hey Adam, you gotta knock it off. We got some big people in the room tonight." "Yeah, I know he's in the room, and if you think he's ever gonna put you on his show, you're sadly mistaken." I started to sweat. If I had a bar of soap, I could have taken a bath. "I don't even know why my father handles you." Hey, you know what? Gang, pay no attention to the man in the back. You know, I had a date the other night, and I go to pick this girl up at her. I went to go get her at her apartment. "You don't get dates, you're ugly." No, that's not true. And no, I went to get her, and I can't remember what I said. I think I said, "You don't even know your jokes. Get off, you stink." I had phased out. I couldn't concentrate. I couldn't win this battle. And I took the microphone and I put it back onto the stand, and I walked off the stage and out onto Melrose Avenue. And for the first time in my life, I wanted to die. I just wanted to be dead. I wanted to throw myself off the roof of the improv. But it's only a 2-story building. My luck, I'd survive with a broken neck, be a quadriplegic, and they put me in one of those rehabilitation hospitals right on Beverly Boulevard, facing the CBS building. And on weekends, they take me skydiving. And I said, no, I gotta face this situation. And I turned around, I walked back into the improv, and Bud Friedman comes running up to me. "Brucey, Johnny's too drunk to drive home. You're the only responsible person we know here. You're going to have to drive him home. Here's his keys." You're nuts? I just bombed in front of the guy. The guy hates my guts. What are you making me do? This. Hey, wait a minute. I could turn this whole thing around. This could be like my second chance. I mean, I'll be nice to him, I'll tell him some jokes. "Absolutely, Bud, I will drive him home." It's now 1 hour later, and I am behind the wheel of Johnny Carson's car. And I'm going like 25 miles. And this is is on the 405. I don't want any trouble, folks. And I keep looking in the rearview mirror because I told a guy named Sandy Shire to follow me in my car so that I get a lift back. So I keep looking for my headlights in the rearview mirror, and Johnny's in the back seat with this beautiful blonde. Now, I recognized her because she was sitting in the front row during my show. She was the only one laughing at my jokes while I was bombing. And they're like making out like two kids in high school. And I start telling them jokes. Hey, Johnny, I had a date a couple of weeks ago. Scroll, complete plastic surgery. Scroll had everything. Teflon nose, silicone breasts, and a fiberglass rear end. I took her out, felt romantic, you know, and brought her back to my apartment, and we laid by the fireplace, and she melted. Now, the blonde is totally on my side. She's going, Johnny, he's funny. You ought to put him on your show. And Johnny leans forward, and he goes, son, what is your name? I go, Smirnoff, Bruce, Smirnoff. He goes, Smirnoff, you have no structure. You don't know your timing at all. And your jokes suck. Well, thank you very much. Oh my God, I've made it worse. And now he knows my name. Well, 10 minutes later, we arrive at his house in Bel Air. Huge mansion. He has an iron gate the size of this wall, and standing on top are two guards with shotguns and 9mm pistols. And they signal me to bring the car in. I bring the car around the circular driveway. Now, this is my last chance to be nice. I'm going to help him out of the car, maybe into the house. Maybe he wants a drink. I already know what he likes. Maybe he wants to take the blonde into the hot tub. I'll get the towels. I can be pretty efficient. So I go to get the door, but he's got like a full court press on top of this blonde, right? So he doesn't see what I see. And what I see is this. My car comes in the driveway, and behind my car is another car, and another, and another, and another, and another. This schmuck that I told to follow me home told all the barflies and hanger-oners at the Improv party at Carson's house. So now there's like about 35 people wandering along the park. Whoa, look at this fucking place! We could party here in the morning. Woo! Well, the next thing to happen, the lights to his mansion come flooding on, and all his servants who've been all sleeping come running out. He's having a party. He's having a party. He didn't call you. Did he call me? We have nothing prepared. He's gonna hate us. Oh my God, we don't know. The guards have now put away the shotguns and the 9mm. They're coming to help the servants. He didn't call us. Did he call you? What are we gonna do? We're gonna have a party. Oh my God, we don't know. We don't know what to do. Well, he doesn't see any of this. This is like a circus. He's got the blonde in a headlock at this point, right? And I open up the door, and he gets out, and he takes a look at this entire circus, and he goes, what the hell are all these people doing here? I go, Johnny, here's what I know so far. I told that guy to follow me. I guess he told that guy to follow him. He in turn said, get him the fuck out of here before I have you all arrested. I go, Johnny, they're as good as gone. By the way, if you're not busy Tuesday, I'll be at the Natural Fudge. Well, I got rid of everybody. We didn't get arrested, thank God. I could hardly sleep that weekend because I had a mission on Monday. I barged into Irvin Arthur's office, my agent. And I told him what his son had done to me, how he basically ruined the opportunity of a lifetime. And Irvin looked up and he goes, Brucey, I'm really sorry. My kid, he's addicted to drugs. He's out of control. He's causing me a lot of heartache. But you know something, Brucey? This is good for you. This is going to make you strong. This is going to make you better. You know why? Because you're a survivor. And I assure you one thing, Brucey. You will never see my son again. And he was right. I never did see Archie Bunker again. Because a week later, his father dropped me as a client. Hi-oh! Hey, Johnny, how are you? Doc, I said, hey, how are you? But did I quit with show business? No! Folks, I eat this shit for breakfast. And I'll tell you why. Because you all are involved in whatever business you're involved in. Tell me you never fail. Of course you fail. The key is you learn by your failures and then you get better. And that's what happens to me. If I wasn't getting better, I would have left a long time ago. I'm always learning. In fact, I learned something very important just 2 months ago. I was doing a gig for the Special Olympics. And I'm backstage, and standing all by herself is like a 30-year-old woman with Down syndrome. I walk right up to her, I go, "Hi, I'm Bruce. What's your name?" "My name is Marla." I go, "Marla, that's a beautiful name. Did you enjoy the show?" "I had a wonderful time." And just then the piano player from the gig, he comes like walking by, good-looking guy, and she's like, "Oh, he's gorgeous. I want him." And I go, "Well, Marla, you can't have him. He's engaged to be married. He's not available. But I'm single. Would you like me?" And she looks at me and she goes, "Ew!" Isn't that what it's all about sometimes? You learn these little lessons. And you know the lesson that I learned? That I wanted to hit among the line. Here was someone with an IQ lower than Forrest Gump telling me I'm not a good-looking guy. Excuse me 1 second. The nerve of some people. Jeez.
Hey, Bruce, it's Harry. They don't pick up.
Yeah. Hey, what's happening? Yeah. Nothing. I'm just hanging out. Yeah. And what'd they say? Okay, man. Do me a favor. Call them back. And tell them it was a pleasure working with such professional people. Yeah, just do that for me, Harry. That's my thing, okay? Yeah, thank you. I gotta go. I got people here. All right? I appreciate that. Thank you. I will. Bye-bye, Harry. Okay. They went another way with the part. They said I wasn't the right type. Now, 5 years ago, I got a friend, Fred Stoller. He was writing on Seinfeld. And he created an episode all about me and my career. And they brought me in to read for the part. And they gave it to a red-headed Irish guy. Because they said he was a better me than me. Okay. All right. The real honest-to-goodness truth, why I don't quit this business, is the following. When I wake up every morning, nobody's got a gun pressed to my head making me do this. And I'm not held hostage. I do this because I love it. This is, to me, the greatest thing in the world. Remember when you were a little kid, your parents would have a party, okay? It's 9 o'clock. You gotta go to bed. Who could sleep? Who could sleep? I'm at the top of the stairs, listening to the laughter and the clinking of the glasses, and I so desperately wanted to be part of it. And now, every night, I'm in the middle of the party. And this is, believe me, the greatest feeling in the world. Now, this might be a little corny, but I like to show this here. This here is my pay stub from the Comedy Store. After 16 years, Mitzi Shore saw me performing at my rabbi's Purim party. And she went nuts over me. I mean, I've been working there now for like 4 years. I'm one of the top acts there. Mitzi and I were like very good friends. We laugh about those days. That face, that face, that face. And basically what I've learned from all of this is that, yeah, being a star is one thing. We'd all probably like to be a star. But it's enjoying the journey, like the day-to-day, like right now. This is the most important part. And I know that I've stood here tonight screaming, I have nothing, but that's kind of like shtick, you know, because I really do have everything. I have great people behind me. I got great friends. And I even have a brand new 8x10 headshot. May I show it to you? What do you think of this? Isn't that nice? Isn't this a great photo of me? Do you know why this is so great? It doesn't look like me. This is Alan White Iceman and his magic camera. You go in like this, you come out like this. You see, folks, I possess the two greatest qualities you need to have success. One is a goal and determination, which I've got. The other is a role model. And my role model is a very famous athlete. His name is Greg LeMond, winner year after year of the French bicycle race, the Tour de France. And if you know anything about Greg LeMond, you'll know that 5 years ago he had to drop out after 5 days of constant diarrhea. That's determination. What I want to know is what point do you think he decided to drop out? What do you think? The guys behind him were going, "Hey, Greg! Enough with the shit already! Get some mud flaps, man!" See, that's what I do. I tell myself a joke whenever I'm down. It gets me back up. It's all I gotta laugh through life. In fact, let me tell you something. I'm in such a good mood right now that I know I can get through Army Archer's entire column without getting nuts. Let's see what he's got to say today. Good morning. How's this for a rags to riches story? After slugging it out in Tinseltown for over 6 months, hard luck actor Larry McDougal today signed a $1 million development deal with one of Hollywood's top showrunners. Well, said McDougal, 1 minute I'm spilling a pitcher of lemonade on a big-time producer. The next minute I'm a star. You know something? I love this business.